traffic stop.
Fine.
Parking lot of the office. Stand by the vehicles. Still moving. Seven Rock.
10-4.
We're going to be in the alley behind the post office. 19292 Frank over Frank. 19292 Frank over Frank. It's on a gray GMC, Tier 1.
10-4.
Temple.
They return. They also have a valley concealed carry.
10-4. I'll have the subject by name and date birth. David Ocean Charles King Union Sam. First name is Eric. Middle initials S Sam. Date of birth 11/26/65. 11/26/65 male.
Time for that. Here's clear valley. Also concealed carry.
10-4. 47. There's no problem. Okay.
10-4. 547.
Reed.
37 vehicle, 490 Pierce. Just sitting there with the lights on. The 28 Boy Mary 63143. Stand by for return. Five 47.
Reed.
37 Boy Mary 63143. Clearance expired. Sergio Soto out of Bourbonnais on a silver 2019 Toyota.
Where you want to send that way? Willowbrook.
Halfway.
Careful.
Okay. Go ahead. I have a call pending for extra patrol, Village Grill. Careful. Okay, down 514, you can assess it.
Seven, 1050. Yeah, contact for this. I'll be. Good now.
10-4. Okay,
I'll be cleared. Good morning.
10-4.
Over.
10-4.
Yeah, Complexion. Who's the car return to?
Sergio Soto. Incoming on Super Hospital available.
Okay, I'm assuming you're available. You can attach me that extra troll at Bill's Grill.
10-4.
Or the 4. $548. Our 1017 at the Village Grill, or did she just need a 21?
Give her a call.
10-4. Can't go 547. Maybe one more name.
Hi.
Name is Soto. SOTO. First name spelling is Charles, Edward, Robert, John, Ida, Ocean, no middle, 10-496, 10-496.
He's clear and valid.
Yes.
Alpha 14. Charlie 14. Be clear out of station, Edmund. Platform.
We'll be on field.
Are derelict of their duty and should be shot out of a cannon.
Can't count 548. This is 43. I am out with a caller at Bill's Grill. Also have one my name and date first.
What was it?
I think spelling Queen Union Adam Ida, Nora Tom, Adam Nora, Charles Edward. First name is Eric, middle initial C Charles, date of birth 11-2-86. 11-2-86, male.
548. Clear expired.
10-4.
Five 47 status.
Alright. You got a call from a subject at 244 North Evergreen. Supervisor daughter was involved in a accident near Luxora, Arkansas. So was Miss Howe, 43 on it. Taking care of him.
Can't count 548. I'll have one more by name, Gatesburg.
Good.
I think spelling Sam Paul Ida, Victor Edward Young, first name is Patricia, middle initials are Roberts. Date of birth is 10/20/59, 10/20/59, female.
I forget.
Go ahead.
Sure, Valley.
10-4. She was asking for a extra patrol here at the business. She was asking for the hours between 5:30 a.m. and 2:30 p.m.
Kessler.
And this is in reference to her son, Eric Quintance, if he shows up. I also advise her that if he does, she can call 911 and we can ban him from the property.
Did you need a bolo for that, or just an extra patrol is good enough?
County 12 relative. Extra large.
That the NIH has not ever and does not now fund gain of function research in the Wuhan Institute.
Do they fund Dr. Barrett?
We do not fund
You fund Dr. Barrett's gain of function research?
Dr. Barrett does not do gain of function research, and if it is, it's according to the guidelines, and it is being conducted in North Carolina.
You don't think inserting the bat virus spike protein that he got from the Wuhan Institute into the SARS virus is gain of function?
That is
You're
not
not a minority because at least 200 scientists have signed a statement from the Family Working Group saying that it is gain of function.
Well, it is not. And if you look at the grants, and you look at the progress reports, it is not gain of function, despite the fact that people tweet that.
So do you still support sending money to the Wuhan Virology Institute?
We do not send money down to the Wuhan.
You support sending money. We did under your tutelage. We were sending it to EcoHealth as a sub-agency and a sub-grant. Do you support the money from NIH that was going to the Wuhan Institute?
Let me explain to you why that was done. The SARS-CoV-1 originated in bats in China. It would have been irresponsible of us if we did not investigate the bat viruses and the serology to see who might have been.
Or perhaps it would be responsible to send it to the Chinese government that we may not be able to trust with this knowledge and with this incredibly dangerous viruses. Government scientists like yourself who favor gain of function
I
research.
don't favor gain of function research.
5:30.
I'll be waiting. Go.
Government defenders
Okay,
of
fine.
gain of function, such as yourself, say that COVID-19 mutations were random and not designed by man. But interestingly, the technique that Dr. Barrett
Can't come back 26.
forces mutations by serial passage through cell culture, but the mutations appear to be natural.
In service
In
east.
fact, Dr. Barrett named the technique the
Sorry?
Museum technique because the mutations appear naturally. Nicholas Baker of the New York Magazine said nobody would know if the virus had been fabricated in a laboratory or grown in nature. Government authorities in the U.S., including yourself, unequivocally deny that COVID-19 could have escaped the lab. But even Dr. Shi in Wuhan wasn't so sure. According to Nicholas Baker, Dr. Shi wondered, could this new virus have come from her own laboratory? She checked her records frantically and found no matches. That really took a load off my mind, she said. I had not slept for days. The director of the gain of function research in Wuhan couldn't sleep because she was terrified that it might be in her lab. Dr. Barrett, an advocate of gain of function research, admits the main problem that the Institute of Virology has is the outbreak of
Your guys' squads aren't being used, parking on the east side.
Barrett responded, could you rule out a laboratory escape? The answer in this case is probably not. Will you, in front of this group, categorically say that COVID-19 could not have occurred through serial passage in laboratory?
I do not have any accounting of what the Chinese may have done, and I'm fully in favor of any further investigation of what went on in China. However, I will repeat again, the NIH and NIAID categorically has not funded gain of function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of
You
Virology.
support it in the U.S. We have 11 labs doing it, and we have allowed it here. We have a committee to do it, but the committee has granted every exemption. You're full.
Okay, we did it, but-
You're allowing superviruses to be created with a 15% mortality. It's very dangerous, and it's a huge mistake to share this with China, and it's a huge mistake to allow this to continue in the United States. And we should be very careful of the investigation and where this virus came from.
I fully agree that you should investigate where the virus came from, but again, we have not funded gain of function research on this virus in the Wuhan Institute of Virology. No matter how many
Parsing
times
word, you're
you
parsing
say
word.
it,
There was research done with Dr. Shi and Dr. Barrett. They had collaborated on gain of function research where they enhanced the SARS virus to infect human airway cells, and they did it by merging a new spike protein on it. That is gain of function. That was joint research between the Wuhan Institute.
Air 41, 185 DUI, one has a trophy.
24.
Excuse me?
I will allow you to respond to that.
Yeah, I mean, I just wanted to say, I don't know how many times I can say it, Madam Chair. We did not fund gain of function research to be conducted in the Wuhan Institute of Virology.
Thank you. Senator Schiff. Thank you. Senator Tester.
Let me just follow up right there, Ms. Locke.
Yeah, comments, you want to go 72 round, 47 water column.
Chairman,
Okay, I'm at 72, you're at.
Congress gave $1 billion to CDC to upgrade information systems. And I was specifically asking last year for more money for immunization information systems and was told that billion was going out to states in order to upgrade. That's where it was targeted. Because I was frustrated with CDC's inability to get real-time data. Now, so it seems as if we're advocating for dollars, of which $1 billion has already been appropriated.
547.
But Mr. Becker, in your testimony, you indicate that in Washington State there's been
Vote, please advise.
to upgrade the immunization information system. I say that because it seems like there's a disconnect here. We gave $1 billion. I was specifically told it's going to go to upgrade state information systems, and I'm hearing
47, you get a current address for them.
that you have inadequate resources to upgrade. So let me ask, did you receive money from that $1 billion that we gave CDC last year?
Thank you, Senator. I will have to go back and find out how much Washington State actually received from the CDC. But I can tell you that whatever we received was not adequate to meet the needs of what we have faced today.
Now, it could be that the state used it for something else. Let's just be fair to CDC, unless they came down with a specific instruction to extend it on immunization information systems. But it does seem, let me just ask in your testimony, you do mention that you had a hard time keeping track. But this is exactly what immunization information systems are supposed to do. Why was Washington State not adequate to do so?
So thank you, Senator. It's just the scalability, interoperability that I mentioned in the very first part.
But in the interoperability, you mentioned about EHRs, but the way if a child is given a measles, mumps, and rubella vaccine, the provider actually enters it. And we've had other states come here and testify that their IIS is currently accepting adult immunizations on COVID. Now, I guess I'm just exploring. I'm not trying to accuse. I'm just trying to understand why this is not the case. Why isn't it the case in Washington?
I think it's the disparate system. So you have very big hospital systems that can invest the infrastructure to send those things seamlessly. You have private providers.
What I'm not sure about, though, if a pediatrician is sending measles, mumps, rubella in that big hospital system, clearly the mechanism occurs. I won't belabor, but it does seem I'm just not getting a clear picture into what the problem is. We get $1 billion to CDC, somehow it's not happening, and yet the system works for child immunization, but it's not working for adults. I won't belabor. Let's Dr. Jones. I think one thing is clear. You mentioned in your testimony the need to have uniform standards of care. Fecal material is hitting thing, and we don't have enough ICU beds. I probably use that line in my diarrhea lecture. We don't have enough ICU beds, but then we learned that we're putting too many people on ventilators. And putting on ventilators at too early a stage actually is associated with negative outcomes. How do we, I have to think that there's probably uneven uptake of that information in ICUs across the nation. I don't know that, I'm just assuming. How do we establish that uniform communication of care when how we manage a ventilator patient, a ventilator or not, really is critical in terms of both ICU utilization, but also the patient survival?
Yeah, thank you, Senator. It was vital for us to be able to spread evidence-based medicine, how to prevent patients.
How did you do it?
Via the Louisiana Department of Health and the Department of Health and Human Services, when we conducted seminars with hospitals around the state and the nation, where they asked us, how do you solve these specific operational problems? We gave them answers.
Now, were you also able to give them like a checklist? So you were.
Yes, we shared with them all of the materials we developed in our own hospital. We stepped outside of the silo of the individual hospital system and shared all.
I don't mean to interrupt, but I'm almost out of time. And you went nationally. Who sponsored your national outreach?
ASPR, with the Department of Health and Human Services.
So hats off to ASPR for putting it together.
Absolutely.
And were you able to demonstrably see that how patients are being managed kind of stayed in lockstep with best practices across the nation?
Yes, it did catch up over time into what.
Over time, how long over time? A month? A week?
Hospital, the feedback.
We were short. I got a call from an anesthesiologist in San Francisco when things were really bad in New Orleans. He goes, we shut down a lift, but the COVID hadn't hit the ship. We should be shipping all our machines to you, and then you ship them back when it hits us. Because we understood there's going to be an uneven implementation. It never happened. Instead, we're scrounging to build new ventilators when they were sitting idle in many parts of our nation. I just say that because I do think part of what we are doing here would be to source existing resources where they're needed from one part of the nation to another, as opposed to attempting to build from scratch a lot of machines that are very sophisticated, but then we don't need them when it's all done. So anyway, with that, I thank you all for your service and your testimony.
Thank you, Senator Smith. Thank you, Ranking Member Murray, Chair Murray, and Ranking Member Burr. I really appreciate this bipartisan hearing.
Discover matches all the cash back you earn on your credit card at the end of your first year. It's amazing because Discover's accepted at 99% of places in the U.S. that take credit cards. Learn more at discover.com/yes.
I had such anxiety. Sometimes it felt like I couldn't breathe. Fortunately, one of my friends told me, "You've got to relax."
Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hotline, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. I don't know about you guys, but I have this inkling that you probably feel the same way as I do when it comes to being lied to. I absolutely despise it. There are two things that bother me so much when it comes to politicians: being outright lied to, or being treated as if I'm stupid and I can't see the truth, treating me as if I'm naive, talking to me in a patronizing manner, in a condescending manner, and expecting I won't see
547-541 10-year status.
and what I just described is the entire platform of the Democrats. Democrat establishment, and of course the current White House. You know, you just shouldn't do that. I'd rather Donald Trump's no filter just saying what he thinks immediately without any ability to filter his thoughts, just rapid fire. What you see is what you get. Than Joe Biden saying one thing and then leaked audio coming out proving that his administration is full of it. And so you see exactly where I'm going. There is now leaked audio that the Biden administration has been outright lying when it comes to their downplaying of the border crisis. They tell you one thing, everything's all right, nothing to see here, folks, as the whole system is burning down, and then they expect your political support as they actively ruin and burn everything around you. So the topic of today's video is, of course, exposing the hypocrisy of the left. Let's get into the outright lies of the Biden administration, debunk them all, and let me show you guys how the American people once again are waking up to the scam that is this current administration. But before we get into any of it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We are still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. With that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright guys, so before I show you any of the leaked audio, what they actually said, what they're saying behind closed doors, let me show you what they're saying to the public on record. Let's of course do a little bit of a flashback, give some context. Here's the narrative that the Biden administration has been pushing. The crisis at the border has been raging, and the Biden administration has had a pact, and they're just pulling out excuse after excuse after excuse to excuse their absolutely horrendous leadership or lack of leadership. Joe Biden claimed his border crisis was seasonal to the winter months and happens every single solitary year.
It happens every single solitary year. There is a significant increase in the number of people coming to the border in the winter months.
K-12 for shifting.
It happens every year.
Well, it's no longer the winter months.
Suspicious activity, 186 North 4th Avenue. Ronald Price would like to speak to someone because his 40-year-old daughter is not home.
Migrants apprehended in the field. It's a 20-year record. If there are 22,000 unaccompanied children in our country right now, that's a record. That sounds to most folks like a crisis. Well, look, it's way down now. We've now gotten control.
As of course it gets worse and worse and worse. Kamala Harris blames climate change for border crisis in response to Guatemalan president blaming Biden administration. This just yesterday, DHS Secretary Mayorkas blames Trump, rule of law, for huge spike in illegal immigration during Biden's administration. But of course, what's the truth? The truth is the Biden administration takes the blame on this one, and even they know it, as behind closed doors, behind the scenes, they admit it. Secretary Mayorkas says border crisis, let me correct that for you, Fox News, says Biden border crisis is unsustainable and we're going to lose in leaked audio. Take a look at this.
Behind closed doors, in this leaked audio, talking to Border Patrol agents, Mayorkas says the situation is more dire than he is publicly willing to admit.
This is unsustainable. These numbers cannot continue. We cannot get to a point where we were a couple weeks ago, and we're going to make sure that doesn't happen. We're looking at policy options. You're looking at policy options. First of all, DHS Mayorkas, in the same breath to the public, landed on the Trump administration. It's been nearly 8 months since you took office. You can't keep blaming Donald Trump. Looking at policy options, the only reason the southern border is in the position that it is right now is because of your policy options that you have implemented and the Trump-era border policies that reduced illegal immigration that he rescinded. The outright lies. It's a mix of both of what I mentioned in the intro. They're lying, and they're treating you as if you're stupid. You don't have eyeballs and you can't see what's right in front of you. It's so incredibly demeaning. You know, there's a reason there's a saying that you should never explain your own jokes. The worst thing you could do as a comedian is treat your audience as if they're stupid and don't understand what you're trying to say. For doing YouTube for almost 2.5 years now, I've noticed that a lot of the times, the people who watch my videos are sometimes even smarter than I am. And you don't need to over-explain things. People are intelligent enough to grasp simple concepts. The Biden administration does not give you the benefit of doubt when it comes to your intelligence level. They treat you as if you won't be able to see the truth, where if they were just honest, took responsibility, changed their policy direction, to be honest, probably most Americans who are trying to be as nonpartisan as possible would say, bravo, you did the right thing. But they just can't do it now. Though we have polls from months ago showing more voters say Biden, not Trump, is responsible for the border crisis. Here's the chart. That's from 4 months ago. Imagine those numbers now. It's probably way worse. Not to mention that's a Hill/Harris poll, which is a push poll that constantly overestimates Joe Biden. Most likely 60+% of Americans blame Biden for the Biden border crisis, but they're going to continue to look at you in the eye and tell you that the sky isn't blue and that it's somehow the orange man's fault. It's complete Democrat lunacy, like I always say. I mean, even CNN is close to admitting the truth.
An unprecedented crisis. That is what the Secretary of Homeland Security just called it. July is the busiest month for illegal border crossings for 21 years. In the last month alone, more than 212,000
Count 547.
crossed the U.S.-Mexico border. Most were apprehended in Lauderdale, Texas. But you know, the surge in these attempted crossings is just going through the roof at a time when normally they go down because it's so hot.
Illegal border crossings are going through the roof at a time where it normally goes down, debunking Joe Biden's claim that the border crisis is seasonal to the winter months, happens every single solitary year, as an absolute clown, and he's making your life worse. Americans don't only blame him for the border crisis, they also blame him for the Biden-inflation crisis. Biden's economic stagflation. Nearly 80% of Americans blame Biden for inflation surge. Full. The vast majority of Americans say surging grocery and household good prices are causing them financial hardship. Nearly 80% blame the Biden administration.
It's time to discover the difference at the all-new Toyota of Bourbon. We've got new ownership with a new commitment to service. Toyota of Bourbonnais is now the home of the lifetime warranty, and we won't let price get in the way of making you a customer for life. Right now, drive the new Camry for just $239 a month.
Okay, I'm with COA doing 72 returning. What refusal? And for maintain on 171, you're returning.
Policy, it says about 70% of Americans say the national economy is in bad shape, and the majority, 86%, are concerned about inflation, according to the new Fox News poll released on Wednesday. Of course, they're going to say Fox News. Well, Fox News is also a quick polling agency, overestimating Biden just like the Hill/Harris X, doing the Washington establishment's dirty work to keep Joe Biden afloat. Let me show you guys exactly what I mean, as Joe Biden is now underwater in polling data. Right here, you can see the trend. Of course, this approval is up 10% from 36.
Now, the last U.S. flights slip out of Afghanistan 24 hours before the deadline, with up to 200 citizens and thousands of allies left behind. You heard that right, folks. Joe Biden left American citizens behind. But it gets even worse. According to a retired Navy aviator, he says the Biden admin is lying. Americans were denied entry into Kabul airport. There may be thousands of Americans left behind. Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Obvious, and today on the internet, we need to talk about the end of the 20-year war. Oh, that's what everybody is saying. But the war is not over. I mean, anyone with half a brain knows that the war cannot be over when we have citizens that were left behind. Now, I have proof that we're being lied to, but we're going to talk about all that and more. But before we do, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell icon for updates on future content, and help support the channel by sharing the video with your family and friends and on social media. A share, a like, and a subscribe are always appreciated. And now, a quick word from our sponsor. Introducing Webull, Webull is an easy and convenient trading app where you can buy and sell cryptocurrency and stocks, where all you have to do is open an account and deposit $5 to get 2 free stocks. These stocks could be worth up to $1,400. Folks, it's basically free money. Join Webull and deposit your first $5 by clicking the link down below in the description. And we're back. Let's just jump right in, folks. 10 Afghan family members were killed in U.S. drone strike. You may recall the recent story about the U.S. drone strike against ISIS-K targets, which allegedly set off explosives inside cars and blew up civilians. Many people have mentioned this. Six Hexenhammer brought this up. It was a very good point. He said that statistically speaking, we know that a vast majority of casualties from drone strikes are civilians. So it's entirely possible that the Biden admin simply struck the wrong target.
Do a call from Solomon, the 1017 for President Speaks to the Ship Commander.
There was around 10 casualties,
21.
and that 3 of these were children. Then they said 6. Now they're saying 7. Apparently, right now, they're saying a total of 10 people from the same family, including 6 children, died in the blast. But let's talk about the end of the so-called war. Here on the Daily Mail, the Pentagon confirms the last U.S. troops and evacuation flights have left Afghanistan. Just after midnight in Kabul, Taliban take control of the airport and celebrate with gunfire as the 20-year war ends. So here the story says, the Pentagon announced on Monday afternoon that the last American troops had left Kabul airport almost 24 hours ahead of schedule, ending the U.S. war in Afghanistan after 20 years with the deaths of almost 25
72 quarters.
a lot of vibe and a lot of damage control.
172, you're back in quarters.
The first piece of damage control is that they're saying, look, we pulled out early. We're ahead of schedule by 24 hours. This is not the case. The reason that we were pulling out a day early is because the Taliban completely overtook the airport and the U.S. military is no longer able to hold the airport. They ran because they got overrun. That is why they left. Okay? The second major code is that the Biden admin and the White House and the media are all saying that there's a few hundred Americans left behind, but they totally wanted to stay behind because they're worried about their families. This is a lie. Okay, so let's do some quick math. According to government officials, both active and retired, there were estimates of 10 to 15,000 Americans stranded in Afghanistan. We've heard from the Biden admin that out of the thousands of people being evacuated from Kabul airport, only around 5 to 10% of those evacuees were actual American citizens. In other words, like 1,000 people came out, and only like 150 were American. I remember the story. Let me ask you a question. How is it possible that we got most of the Americans out of the country when only 5 to 10% of the evacuees were American? So it's very simple. I think, and this is just my personal opinion based on logic, they left behind thousands and thousands of American citizens and are now lying to our faces about the numbers of Americans stranded in Afghanistan. Look at the numbers. Here the story says, 100 to 200 Americans and thousands of Afghan allies were left behind and must fend for themselves now that the airport no longer offers an escape route. Like I said, I believe that there was thousands and thousands of Americans left behind. I do not know if I trust these reports, but regardless, it is a travesty that anyone got left behind, because definitely there's thousands of allies. That means like people from Britain, the UK, that all got left. Now, going over to Fox News, retired Navy aviator Brett Odom, who was helping Americans evacuate Afghanistan, said on Monday that people were denied entry by the Taliban into Hamid Karzai International Airport. According to him, they were not even allowing Americans to
526 to 90.
Here it says, Odom's comments come after a video reportedly showed Americans being denied.
Cracker Barrel, 50, 10 Hayes Drive. Zone 3, front door.
The White House said Americans don't come to the airport because there could be an imminent attack before the drone strikes. So how is it possible that they got evacuated? I don't believe it. The State Department spokesperson said Saturday that at least 400 Americans have been safely evacuated since August 14th, including nearly 300 U.S. citizens within the
41
last
to your
and
side.
another 350 Americans in Afghanistan. and have informed the State Department they want to get out. We left Americans behind. Now, regardless of whether it's 350 or 3,500, the simple fact of the matter is we left our people behind. What an utter failure by the Biden administration. These people are hostages. They will be hunted down. They will be tortured, most likely. They will be kidnapped. They will be brutalized. All thanks to the disgusting Biden administration. Now, here on Newsweek, as the U.S. leads Afghanistan, how Biden's 7-month approval rating stacks up against Trump's. So Joe Biden's approval is in the gutter. His ratings have taken a nosedive straight into the ground. You know, they called Trump the chaos president, but if you ask me, Biden is the chaos president. The chaos under Trump was totally artificial, propped up by mainstream media outlets and CNN saying that Orange Man was bad. This, however, is just pure chaos caused by the incompetence of Biden. So on Twitter, I retweeted a post showing that Biden was looking at his watch during the memorial for the 13 fallen U.S. service members. And one of the most enraging things that I've ever seen. Here you can see a mother crying, collapsing by her dead child. What is Biden doing? Oh, he's checking his watch. When is this going to be over? Such a waste of time. I don't care about these people. Yeah, that's Joe Biden. He's an evil person. I truly believe that based on what I'm seeing, you shouldn't be checking your watch during this memorial. You caused this. You killed these people. But that's what Joe Biden is. That's what this administration is. This is what the Democrats voted for. This is Joe Biden's America, Democrats' America, and I cannot stand it. You know, I wasn't going to talk about this story. It's not really the most important story in the world, but check this out. Bars and restaurants across America set up table tributes to troops killed in Kabul airport ISIS-K blast. So apparently, some restaurants are setting up these little memorials that actually look really awesome, look really cool. Here you can see in the picture, the table is set for 13 veterans. You scroll down and read the sign. It says, reserved for 13 brave fallen soldiers. Rest in peace, heroes. You see these 13 beers, an empty table, and American flags. I know it's not much. I know it's, you know,
Adam, 6.
You change that call that I'm on to K1180 right now.
There's 11 Canton.
But
4 of the DUI CFS 93 were like 1021. Five 41, 514, can you give a call?
April.
Clear.
Now 548.
5.
Okay. Okay. You guys spoke to that subject. I'm going to have an ROF. Correction as a supplemental for the ROF that's already been done. He may call back. Yeah, that's cool. Usually contact 17 and stuff out. I'm not giving them access the door.
Can't count 514. Other service. 10 4.
Can you go call when you're ready?
That's 41. Can you send in?
Return the name of the call when you're ready. Acting is Wicker, W-I-C-K-E-R, first name Brian, B-R-I-A-N. Taking middle, 41374, 041374, male. Cody 10-8, I give him 21. Yeah, well, 43 is going to be 1, 2, 4.
10-4.
Can't contact for 7. What's my case number?
That'll be 21-23126, 23126.
Can't go by 22.
Bye.
There's several cars there, but the front door's locked. I can't get anybody to come to the front door. Just employees, it looks like, in the back kitchen area, starting to open, but when they will make contact, I'll be sending it.
$22 can't come.
122.
You got 133 can't come.
Go ahead.
Well, sending the ambulance, 1323 Eagle Bluff, 1016. One subject has a knife.
Stafford.
$135, 1040.
Can't come 124. 122's in a row.
No, half that's the issue. She apparently does still have the knife. Before you're out, 1324 Eagle Bluff. We believe the offender is not in the same house at this time with the caller. Take off into 63 to route. Engine 63 route, Eagle Bluff.
Go for. Roll. On green. Jump one. 35, 1060. I'll check the east if she ran out the back door.
Could be in a black shirt and blue jeans.
And what? One 35, she did run off the back. She had a blue jeans and black t-shirt on. ETL Northwest.
Okay, so can you meet the subject at U-Haul 1200 North Kennedy Drive in references semi-driver that is stuck on some type of pipe?
And west, he believes. She could be headed that direction.
Pick up 63. They get change quarters ambulance from the barrier, please. Jump for engine 63.
Pentagon 41, 1042. Step one.
Urban A fire scene will be secured. Degree on scene.
Cancun. 65 on Cancun.
64 on scene.
Correction, 64. And there'll be a red sedan with 10 windows in the lot. Or she's still obtaining further information, but it appears that the male subject, black sweats and a gray hoodie, is walking towards Washington now.
Ambulance 483, go ahead.
Show us at Bourbon A for the change quarter.
Apparently, people on Twitter, somebody.
Okay, Lincoln.
648 590 Sam over Tom. 648 590 Sam over Tom.
It's kind of funny. She's out of Florida. Robert Davis Steele's out of Florida. Like the insurrection.
No, it's another 28 for the cast. You ready?
Go ahead.
The Illinois Enforcement Call 101 5896. P101 5896.
Steve didn't kill himself or whatever.
Anyone come for?
I'm just saying what the system is. And so, but there's a kind of proof around it over the jail says this, whatever. There's no outlet that says Robert David Steele is there, right? And so, they say they think they'd be able to just
63. 64's got their patients loaded. They're 10-4. 63's going to be returning.
There's a 63 on the return.
So I see that like I don't get that many views, and now I have 1,000 views, and it's all like anonymous people like complaining. Oh, Robert Davis Steele was a hero. No, he wasn't.
Yeah, got 43. There's a local window. Whoever just parked here apparently didn't plan a signal. 21 1028.
21, go ahead.
Adam Frank 85013 in a maroon Cadillac.
Have when everyone comes in, obviously test for fever, and then if they have a fever, we're able to right now quarantine them our day rooms. Unfortunately,
Okay, 21, that 20 return to Jerry Limit, Johnson, 1090 South Evergreen, thank you.
We don't have power on any of our campuses, so just in helping this number of people without power, and then you add COVID on top of it, it is a concern, but my staff has been so amazing through this. We feel that God's favor has been upon us, and we have been very blessed through this time.
Without power, though, it could last days, even weeks. I mean, how long can you shelter people if you don't have power?
So this is what we've been discussing with our local leaders. We're doing it now. We really need the community to help us. We need generators. We need generators to power 30,000 square foot building. So we're talking about generators that are, $60,000 and $80,000.
133 too.
So we're trying to borrow one currently. I think we have one. We had one last night. We were trying to power up. We couldn't get it started. So we're looking for another
Game
option
time, Grand
today.
Park Central.
It is definitely
And for Grand Park High.
challenging, but we know that God has not brought us this far today.
Okay, come on 35, it'll be 23 wedges. Clear it. Okay, I'm 221.
Fine.
Units to be back in service. That vehicle is parked on the street legally. Subject driving, it's Julia. Be back in service.
Okay.
Ten 29.
122, go ahead.
Last name Lopez, Lincoln Ocean, Paul Edward Z. J. John's the middle. 526 and 96. Male.
Okay, Grand Park. Turn the ground.
Grand Park is in 110 here on Route 421 West Taylor Street.
Simple.
This is Jay Lopez. This is valid driver's license. He is wanted out of Vermilion County FTA for marijuana possession. We are our GO. Outside of GO.
Over out.
Launching an IoT product is no easy feat. You need a solution that works out of the box. And freelance startup.
Encom 135. Residence is clear of any other subjects will be on foot in the area. 204.
Yeah, camera almost 51 on scene. 57 center view.
The one you're on scene.
think they were doing it on the scene. Nothing showing up, but if you have somebody on the scene.
10-4, is it 110? Call status?
Hey, Dumber, still don't want to be around Trail 17.
Looks like all the other houses around it. But the history behind this house
St. Mary's.
is totally bizarre. Latoya Ammons, who was the mother of three that lived inside of this house with her 3 kids, she began to report to the police that demons were throwing her children.
7's gonna be in route.
Now, when police got the report that children are being thrown against the wall, their first thought is warn unfit parents, and so they sent Child Protective Services.
Hey, Robert 7, I have you in route.
Go check out this residence and make sure that she really was a cop. They are shocked that what they find is documented in a police report. And courtesy of the executive producer of 317 Films, Christopher Geisach, I have a copy of said police report. When I read through this thing for the first time, I literally wrote him an email and said, there's no way this is an actual police report. And they said, no, that's real. It's from the Lake County Sheriff's Department. It is the official police report. It's mine. Today, I'm going to tell the story of what happened when the police got involved, and I'm just going to use information that was in the police report. But before we get into today's crazy story, if you're a fan of the strange, dark, and
So the Smoke Post, they just send you a cool box.
whoa, this is kind of awesome. This thing is jammed. Let me explain what the make of this and just says to the boy, can you do that again? And Lamonte at this point, his eyes are back to normal and he's sitting down next to Rosa. And he says, what? I didn't. He acted like he had not been walking up the wall. Now, it's not in the report how Rosa responds to Washington's story about the hospital. However, the entire police report that all this information from was written by Luke Ruska at the end of the investigation. So this exchange between he and case manager Washington about the hospital visit that we have heard of, it apparently carried weight in the entire investigation that he felt compelled to add it into the report. Even though on paper you would think
I can help and see if there's any locations attached to our offender, maybe on Duncan Drive.
it gives you maybe an insight into Lieutenant Ruska, although his language remains super professional and very pragmatic.
We've been relieved.